Hello YouTube and welcome to this video. If you've never seen me before, I'm Marcus Hayes and I love Mark 1 and Mark 2 Ford Escorts. I've got a Mark 1 and a Mark 2, so if you're into cars yourself, do click subscribe to be kept up to date with all that I'm up to, and go and check out my other videos for more details on the cars. Today I've come around the garage to do a couple of jobs on both of the cars. Half the day's already gone, to be honest, so I don't know how much I'm actually going to get done today, so I'm going to stop talking and crack straight on with it. Right, so I've got the Mark 1 out of the garage, and the first thing I'm going to be doing today is fitting one of my spare diffs to the car. I need to take some measurements so that I can have a custom prop shaft made up, because as I mentioned in the last video, the car's actually running a Mazda RX-8 6-speed. So first thing I need to do is jack the car up. So whenever I jack the Mark 1 up, I like to try and protect the paint underneath as best I can. So I've just made up this out of a bit of cardboard and bubble wrap to put under the cross member. Hopefully won't damage any paint. So that's the car jacked up. I realise now what I should have done was just jack the rear end up, fitted the diff, and then got the car level to take the measurements, and I'll tell you why. I've only got 2 axle stands, so now I'm going to have to remove the drive shafts from the rear axle and put the diff in the axle with it just leaning on the jack, which isn't ideal, but I will throw some wheels under it just in case it does fall. But yeah, I should have just done the rear on its own first. But I'm not going to start again now. It takes so long to jack that car up because you're trying to be so careful not to chip the paint on the chassis rails and stuff. Catch just turned up. It's brought me a honeycomb frap from McDonald's. These things are lovely. If you haven't tried one of these, you haven't lived. So now I need to remove both rear wheels, remove the brake drums, and undo the nuts that hold the drive shafts into the axle, and then hopefully the drive shafts will just pull out. Right, so I've got it apart, both sides. You can see how anal I was when I first put this car together. Got all like the rear brake mechanism and springs and that all re-zinc plated silver. Painted like the backing plates for the drums and stuff. I bought brand new drums, but I just painted them black with hammerite. Yeah, nice view of the inner rear arches. It's quite dirty in there. I need to go around at some point and clean up the hole underneath of this car. Axle's very dusty and stuff. So there's the Mazda RX-8 6-speed. Got an adapter plate here, which I had zinc plated silver. If you need an adapter plate to run a Mazda box, there's a group on Facebook, RX-8 adapter plates UK, something like that. I'll put a link in the description anyway. Yeah, if you want to run a Mazda box in your Ford, get in touch with them. He's made adapter plates for all different kinds of engines now, and there's more coming out all the time as well. So I believe that's a Capri mount, and I've used the RS2000 gearbox lowering blocks, and that's just bolted through the floor with big washers on the inside. And I made like a sort of rubber bush, just so that it's not solidly mounted. If you mount them completely solid, you'll feel all the vibrations through the car. And if you do want to run a Mazda RX-8 6-speed in your Escort, you are going to need to fit a large gearbox tunnel. They can take a lot more power than a Type 9, and obviously they're a lot cheaper than a Type 9 as well. Right, so this is my spare diff. This was in the Mark II when I bought it. Obviously the Mark 1 will be getting an LSD, but I'll probably just put it on the road with an open diff first, just so I can get it on the road. And then an LSD will probably be the first mod that I do after I do get it on the road. So I've put the RX8 prop shaft into the gearbox as far as it'll go. I'm now going to measure from here right back to the flange on the diff to see how long my custom prop shaft needs to be. Now this will have to be out of the gearbox slightly, just so that when the suspension moves and stuff, with acceleration and deceleration, it's got a little bit of play. But I'm just going to measure it with it completely in, and then let the prop shaft company tell me exactly how much shorter it needs to be to allow for movement. Right, so that's all I'm doing on the Mark 1 today. There is something I want to have a look at quickly on the Mark 2 though. I'll show you. A few weeks ago, when I was driving the car, the steering column kept coming on, even though obviously the key was in and turned, the car was driving. So as a temporary thing, I just unbolted the barrel steering lock, whatever you want to call it, and just cable tied it to the column so I can carry on using the car. But basically it's a bit deformed, the little like sort of recess where this bit goes into. So I need to get this column off and take it apart, and I think I should be able to sort that out with maybe the Dremel or a file, or maybe a little grinding stone on the drill, to stop that happening. Steering column out. Right, so I don't know if you can make it out on there, but you can see that around here it's very deformed, and I reckon that is what was causing the problem, because it's not the right shape. It's obviously catching on here when it shouldn't be. I'm just going to file this and try and get it back to the shape that it should be, and then hopefully that will cure the problem. I'm just going to put a bit of tape around here. That's greasy, it ain't sticking properly, but just to try and keep any little filings out of the inside of that. Just going to use this file thing for the drill. Alright, so that looks like a bit better of shape now. I've taken away most of the bit that looks deformed. So I'll just clean it all up, make sure there's no metal filings about, grease it up, put loads of grease on it, put it all back together and get it back in the car, and hopefully the steering lock will stop coming on while I'm driving. Push on it a bit. Hang on. Rotate it.
So how the fuck am I supposed to push it?
Just like wiggle it and push on it.
The whole shaft needs to go down.
No, no. Alright, hang on. Let me get something to it. Now you can put it on. Right, so the sun's going down now, so that's all I've got time for today. I'm really happy that I've taken the measurements I need to get the prop shaft made for the Mark 1. And hopefully I've solved the problem with the steering lock on the Mark 2. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you thought it was any good, give it a thumbs up. If you thought it was shit, give it a thumbs down. Click subscribe to be kept up to date with any other videos that I post in the future. Make sure you check out my Facebook page and my Instagram. All the details for that will be down below. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section as well. Until next time, thanks for watching.